Stand for the pledge again.
Yes, please. It's on the agenda.
Mr. Kula, lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Kirby, please call the roll.
Trustee Delmar? Aye. Trustee McNeil?
Here.
Trustee Larson?
Here.
Trustee DeGrove? Here. Supervisor Rush?
Here.
Also in attendance is Clerk Jeannie Kirby and Commissioner Kula. Members of the public, do you want to note the lawyer?
No, it's okay, because you can, because he's gonna go in executive session with us.
Attorney?
Adam Lasker, Lasker.
All right.
Okay.
Public participation?
Do we have anybody on public participation?
Nope, we gotta do approval of minutes.
Approval
Oh,
of
I'm
minutes.
sorry, I skipped it.
There was one thing that I saw in here. Now, let me just find it real quick. And I don't know if it was from the
Is
regular.
the first one or the second one?
Yeah, it's the one I've got to figure out. Hold on.
While you're looking for that, I am going to include the PowerPoint in the minutes because it was such an important part of our discussion. I thought that was prudent of us to do that.
Okay, I know there was something on this one. Hold on. And I highlighted it on mine, but.
Who? All those years of technical training.
Is it a substantial change to the meeting?
No, it's a
minutes?
minor change.
If it's an editorial change, we can change.
I don't know,
If it's just like a grammar or a spelling error.
it was, yeah, I think it was more like, it was like a tense.
A tense?
Yeah, you go on,
Yeah.
okay.
We can do that.
All right. All right, then, do we have a motion to approve the annual budget meeting minutes from May 12th of 2014?
I so motion. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Clerk Curry?
Trustee McNeil?
Aye.
Trustee Larson?
Aye.
Trustee DeGrove? Aye. Trustee Delmar? Aye. Supervisor Rush?
Here, aye.
Great, motion carries.
Oh,
We have the minutes for the regular meeting.
yeah, I know there was something in here too, but I was trying to read it wrong. Okay, never mind.
As difficult as that meeting was.
Okay, and,
You okay?
yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right. If,
Call, do I get a motion to approve the general, board meeting minutes from May 12th, 2014?
So moved.
second.
And the roll, please.
Discussion. Let's see, Trustee Larson?
Aye.
Trustee DeGrove? Aye. Trustee Delmar? Aye. Trustee McNeil?
Aye.
Supervisor Rush?
Aye. Okay,
Reports?
all right, reports.
No.
Public, do we have anybody public participation? Seeing none. What? They all left us, yes they did. I'll start with my reports, which you have, most of them in here, and one of them we'll discuss right away. We did the carpeting, I'll start there, we did the carpeting. We did not close either of the offices, we worked around and we kept both offices open. Was a little rough, but we still got it all done. And same with the, we had our carpeting done first, to kind of set the precedent, and the assessor's office did not close for that day, for the next day either with theirs. I will tell you that they finished one night at 10:45 and the next night at 1 o'clock in the morning, so it was fun to come and close up a building at 1 o'clock in the morning. But we all like the carpeting much better. The old carpeting, when they were pulling it up, there was definitely still, because it was when they can smoke in the building, smoke in that room, and so when they were pulling it up, it was just big clouds and puffs of dust. So we have already noticed in both offices that we are breathing fine at 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon. So that looks good. The second thing is, you'll notice that Lupe's desk arrived as well. She is very happy and content. The other desk is in the hallway. Thank you to Bob for sending the guys over and weaving through somebody else in there, because that desk is big and heavy. If it doesn't go within the next couple of days, I may ask you to send them back and put it out by the dumpster.
Or Goodwill or something.
Well, it's hard, it's gonna be hard because it's very, 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 very heavy.
Now they gotta,
Nobody's gonna buy it, and I don't think it
Okay.
will. It's broken. We actually have eraser heads all along the nails on the inside because Lupe kept ripping her pants in her, stuff like that. Let's see what else. The windows are on order, and as soon as they come in, then we will start those as well. Another thing that we have, that I have in my packet is, other than the regular items, are, there is the mosquito from Clark. That's a report that they give us each month, so I will include that. It actually just came today, and thank you, Clerk Kirby, for getting those in the packets, because literally I gave them to her 10 minutes before the meeting started. So thank you very much for that. Also in the packet is, we always go every year to the Lake County Council for Seniors Expo, and it's hosted by the College of Lake County. It is very, very well attended, and we will be hoping to attend this year as well. We have also made recommendations to them because they were looking for, what it is they have a lot of booths, and then what they also do is they have a couple of speakers come in and talk about various things. One of the things that they really wanted to talk about was transportation, so we have someone from the Northwest Demo. They're gonna come in, they're gonna talk about the different bus services. They're also gonna talk about a service that they offer is, one of the things that seniors kind of get nervous about right away is riding the bus, the public bus, for the very first time. So they actually offer courses to do that. So we had suggested, and they're going to have one of those courses there as well. We usually just do I think it's called the not-for-profit exhibitor booth details. We don't sponsor usually. We just get the booth. If anybody wants one, it's usually Lupe and I that are there, but if anybody else would like to come and join us at the booth, you are more than welcome. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Oh, I do have one more small thing. The person who was cutting our grass last year is no longer able to cut our grass. He was, what? No, he's,
Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Can't cut the grass.
He can't cut the grass, so we might be hiring somebody part-time to cut the grass like we did last time, just on Wednesdays, because it literally took Dave all day to cut the grass, okay? So I think we might do that again, and I think we have a small amount in there to be able to do that, okay? Plus, Dave doesn't really have the time to weed whack everything, whereas the person who we get will do it all day on a Wednesday and weed whack as well. Yes, Bob?
Do you need help with that in the interim?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Would you be able to?
Mhm.
Excellent, thank you very much. Awesome. All right, and that's all I have. And
I have
then,
a question.
yes,
Is this part of your report, the IDOT?
actually, that was supposed to go with the, and Jeannie had asked me, and after she asked me, I was leaving, but this is actually going with the
The road?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Alright. Cause I'm like, what roads are they talking
that's what they're talking about.
about? Okay, and then I just wanted to make a comment that about the big increase in GA and EA calls and walk-ins and assistance. Well done. Nice,
Thank you,
nice.
thank you very much. All right, next we have report-wise, that's why I stick my agenda out. No, I can't do that. I can't. We're gonna play nice until we can't. Okay, the next thing, the next thing is the assessor's report. Let me just summarize. It says, my office continues to finalize the assessment for Avon Township in preparation for their submission to the Chief County Assessment Office by July 15th. Then it talks about a bill, you can read about that, and then it talks about the assessment, the township factor came in at approximately 0.9575, and you can read more about that as well. But I just wanted to general and summarize this report. They're compromised.
It's just too bad he wasn't here to share
Present
the,
himself,
present it himself.
that would be helpful.
Okay,
Oh, I'm gonna say.
duly noted. Next, we have Commissioner Kula.
Which is here to present his report.
So everybody knows we had our spring cleanup last month, or this past month, just to summarize real quickly, we were getting more into recycling everything that we take in from the spring cleanup, so we did take 77 tube TVs, 17 flat screens, 22 computer monitors, 14 desktops, and another 50 miscellaneous. Anything electronic, we probably exceeded 50 to be honest with you, there's a lot of small stuff, but anything electronic, anything with a plug goes over to the recycling center and gets recycled. And tires, we took tires this year, which we usually don't do, but we took them just because I don't like the tires sitting in the yards because it's a mosquito thing. So we get the tires out of there, we get the standing water out of there and reduce the mosquitoes. So Clark, by the way, sprayed last Thursday,
Yes.
and they'll be out again this Thursday, weather permitting. So everybody knows that.
We do get an email when they're going to spray with the board, like an email to let them know as well when we are spraying within Avon Township. It's just in the unincorporated.
Just in the unincorporated,
In our
actually, all,
neighborhood, right?
in all the unincorporated grays, actually, all of the round lakes and the unincorporated Avon Township, we have a pretty aggressive spraying program for adult larvae, or for adult mosquitoes. Grays Lake does one treatment a year, where we do 5 to 6, and that carries pretty much suit with the rest of the round lakes. We're all pretty aggressive, but Grays Lake has a different approach. They attack the larvae, or we go after the adults. So
The village of Round Lake does 5 or 6?
it's somewhere around there, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I get a phone call when they do mine.
Yeah, and then we're actually spraying we're treating a lowland area through Clark on me, but it's in one of our neighborhoods. It's always swampy. We have a real problem over there, so they're treating that for the larvae, so we can reduce mosquitoes that way. And then we're starting Lakeside this month. Lakeside, Elder, Gerwall, Wilmar. We'll be doing some minor storm improvements over there and ahead of the paving through the county. That gets done with MFT funds. That'll be done, should be done by the 1st of August. That's when it's scheduled to be done. And then Brewerson, I don't know if you guys have time, you should really take a ride over there. I don't know if anybody knows where Brewerson is. It's off of Fairfield Road.
Fairfield and,
Well, if you go in off of Oak, and then you come to the first street, hang a left, then Brewerson's right there. It's paved now, it has curb and gutter, it's turned out beautiful, it's a beautiful road. Gonna help a lot with drainage, so all we have left over there is landscaping, which they started today. And landscaping should be wrapped up in the next 2 days, and then Brewerson will be done, except for maybe a small punch list. And today, I just got it a little while ago, they're pouring a curb on Nielsen. So we have I think we finished today, we have about 400 more feet of curb to pour on Nielsen, and then if the weather holds out this week, we might have some pavement done by Friday, which I'm really hoping for. because it's been dusty over there for a while, so it'd be nice to get some pavement done. And on that note, we did get our, you guys probably saw the check, we did get our CDBG check, 83,000 and some change. There'll be 85 when it's all done, but they hold a certain percentage until the job's done and signed off by the county. So, yeah, that's nice, it's a big chunk of the project's cost, so. And I don't have it on here, but I just wanted to note that we're doing striping again this year. We have a striping program we do with the county. So most of the roads that we're getting done, Bacon, and I don't know if Nippersing's getting done, but I have a few roads that are getting done with paint. But Drury Lane at the intersection at Rounds, now that one requires the thermoplastic, so that will have the thermoplastic. It's more reflective, it lasts longer. It just required it at a major intersection like that, so that'll be done with thermoplastic. And the county doesn't do thermoplastic, but I'm jumping onto their bid. So
Okay.
because of the volume they do, we can get a lower price, way better than I can do on my own, so I always try to do it with the county
Okay,
and keep the cost down, so that's it.
sounds good, thank you very much.
Nice job.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
I'm going to put Clerk Kirby before the trustees, is that okay? She's not on the agenda, does anybody have any? Okay, Clerk Kirby?
You report, the standard reports are in your board book. The ones that are highlighted are the new volunteers that we've had. There was one open FOIA that's been filled, so that's been noted as full in the FOIA report. Those are all well and good. A couple of new things. I just went to training to be part of the summer work program for the summer youth employment program, and we will have 2 14 to 17-year-old youngsters that are young people that are going to be helping us. They get paid for that, and I'm their direct supervisor. They do have to have direct supervisor. And before you get really excited, they can't run a lawnmower, but they can run a push lawnmower. There you go.
Take them all
I was
day.
gonna say, they could do that with.
But they can, so there are no motorized vehicles, they can stand on step stools, and so there's certain rules that we have to follow. Right now, one of the things that I have earmarked for them is, we've been trying to do the audit and get our records straightened out, and a lot of them need to be reboxed, because the boxes are falling apart and they're not marked as well as they should be. So they're going to help with that. I'll make sure that they can do that. Otherwise, we'll open up to other suggestions. So if you have anything that you think that would like to be done, for instance, on the list I have, Lisa would like to have the paint trim, the wood framing in the front of the building. We could ask them to paint that. They can do painting. They can work with those kind of materials. They just can't do a spray paint or anything with a motor on it. But, so if you have any ideas or anything, give me a list. We have 2 people already earmarked. I've asked them if they have any that are not in place, that we would take some more, because we do have a lot of little odds and ends to do. And, but they are designated to the township. And so they will do work for the township. So let me know if you have any other questions or tasks. I've also asked them what happens. They can work up to 25 hours a week, but they're not guaranteed 25 hours a week. And some places where they have them, like for instance, Round Lake Library is getting a couple, their tasks may end early. So I put us on the list to get some more support if kids are done and they need more hours. If we still have jobs to do, then I've told them that we will take them, and that I'll take them on as their direct supervisor. So we have the potential of getting more support. We'll see, this is the first time I've done it. Lisa's done it many times before. I'm hoping it all works out. I've told them to send me all the smart ones. So that we have on the docket. And just to note that, the auditors have been in.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna put that under, no, you can go ahead.
The auditors have been in, and, it's a task, and
It's
as
just
far,
about done.
yes, they're just about done, and naively, I thought this was all about Dave and Lisa. But unfortunately, it has a lot to do about my office too. But all of the requests for documentation, resolutions, they had a whole list. all of them have been supplied, so, they've got exactly what they needed from the township. From the clerk's office, except for the minutes that you approved today, because I would not give them to them until you approve them, and I will transfer those over, after the meeting tomorrow. That's it. Okay,
Jeannie, I'm working through this because I'm not used to it. It's a great report. I see the ones that, the numbers in one column, the dates and they started and accepted. When do I know when they're done? Because I see a lot accepted, and I see some close. I see like one person like closed.
right.
A lot of them are like
Open.
open or whatever. Are they still working on their stuff or what's?
Yes, remember we talked about that we wanted to have one body that would tell all the different kinds of volunteers. So a lot of these that are coded for volunteers, and remember that's the significant V after the number, because this is confidential, so their names are not in our reports. Those volunteers have no closing dates. They're volunteering, they can work as much as long as they want,
Oh, so it's not,
So it's not
it's not a
all court appointed,
mandatory.
it's not all court appointed.
Oh, okay, so.
If it's court appointed, it has a C next to it,
Okay,
and there are two, if it's got a T next to it, remember that's TANF designation, those are, young
Oh, I
people,
see it down
young
here.
adults that are, on an aid, and there is a legend at the bottom of the report in case you forget.
Mhm.
So that's why some of them don't have dates of completion, because technically they never complete.
right. But now your community service people, will you show them sometime when they're done then?
Yes, when the
Okay.
community service are done and I write the letter,
Okay.
then once I write the letter, I mark that as finished. And a lot of them have, a lot of them finish their hours, but they still stay on as volunteers. We're seeing that a lot from the food pantry. We're getting a lot of really positive comments from our people that are volunteering about it.
And then unfortunately, they'll still have the C in her number because originally they might have been court, but they'll never get rid of that C.
They have their designation, and, once they finish the hours, we are going to move them to volunteers.
Okay, so you get rid of that.
Yes.
So
If-
we know they're doing volunteer work
Yes,
and not because they have to.
so there'll be a duplication, there'll be,
Same
and it has
number
a
with
C, but
different
there'll
letter.
be, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
That's great, that's great.
it sounds really complicated.
It
It's
is.
so
It's
simple
getting-
as volunteers, but as you can see, we have 2 pages, and I have 3 more applications that just came in this week that we still are in the process of processing. In the process of processing, there we go.
Any other questions for Clerk Kirby? Trustees report, and I know Trustee Larson has a report.
Yeah, and I apologize, I'm gonna be a little brief tonight. So I had the opportunity to present the framed copies of the resolutions to the appropriate teachers in the school board at D46 over the past month. I want to let you know, it was presented first to the choir in front of approximately 400 people in the choir. The band was approximately 600 people plus the band, and the school board was a little bit more like this room. All of them were received very, very well. There were a lot of comments about, thank you for doing this, what else can we do to support this? Everybody was glad to hear, not just that it was presented, but how well the students did and all of the stuff that occurred as a result of that. So, very, very positive the way that everything came out with that.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much for doing that. Do we have any other trustee reports? Hearing none, we will move on to the resolution of transfer funds. And as you notice, there is a note in here from Assessor Ditton that says, I will not be submitting a resolution to transfer any funds. So, but we just needed to get that on there, so we will, we don't have to make a motion to, it's just not gonna be done. Next, we have the prevailing wage. This is something that is just done every single year. Do you have any questions about that, Bob?
No,
Okay.
it's a standard,
It's a standard, it's pretty standard. It used to be done by just one person, and now it's done by each individual. I mean, it used to be done by one clerk for all the townships, and then she decided that she'll let everybody do it all at once, because you used to have to print that in the newspaper, and now you just have to have it available to be seen. That's pretty much it.
We don't have to print this
No,
one?
it no longer has to be printed in the
I remember we used
newspaper.
to do it in Fremont.
Right, that's why, and right as soon as Barb Tonkery left and the new one, Chris, took over, they changed it so you don't have to put it in the newspaper. So can I get a motion to approve the prevailing wage?
So moved.
And a second, okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee DeGrove,
Yes.
trustee Delmar,
Aye.
trustee McNeil,
Alright,
trustee Larson,
Aye.
supervisor Rush.
Aye. All right, the consideration and review of bills. Can I get a motion to approve the the prepaid bills?
So moved.
Do I get a second?
second.
Any discussion?
Yes, one item. Bob, there was an item on the credit card bill that came through, I think it was for Daimler Towing, but I didn't see a receipt with that.
Oh, that was for the food bank, for the food drive?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a receipt for that anywhere,
It should've came through. I can call Dave and get a copy, but that's what it was for. It was to rent a box truck for the food
The
drive.
rentals for the food drive?
Right.
All right, we'll give them a call and get a receipt for that. Any other questions? Hearing none, and please note, under where it says food pantry, we closed out the account on June 3rd and gave the money over there. Everything but $2,000, which was just put into the town fund. All right,
Can I
roll
ask
call.
who seconded it? Who seconded the, prepaid?
Bill.
Bill did? Okay, thanks. Couldn't write that name down. Trustee DeGrove,
Aye.
trustee Delmar,
Aye.
trustee McNeil,
Alright,
trustee Larson,
Aye.
supervisor Rush.
Aye. Do I get a motion to approve the outstanding bills?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? No discussion? Okay.
Trustee DeGrove,
Aye.
trustee Delmar,
Aye.
trustee McNeil,
Alright,
trustee Larson,
Aye.
supervisor Rush.
Nay. What? There are some bills in the assessors that will cause his to,
I was kinda just looking at that now, cause I didn't see the other, how is he doing on his?
you have, your income statement attached.
Too bad, it's,
He will not have, he has approximately, he has $32 left in continuing education, and he will have, and that's at 98.59% of his year-to-date. And his per diem and lodging, he only has $145 left, which is which he's gone through 94.19%
well, at least there's money there now, so.
to pay the
I would-
ones that are there.
I would send him another email saying he's gonna have to, he's out of money, he's gotta figure out where he's gonna move money around.
Okay.
Send him an email,
Well, that's what we tried to do, and that was
at
the,
least he's aware of it.
he's aware, and we'll have further discussion later.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
He's within his budget at this point, how he chooses
Right.
to spend his money is his choice, and
Right,
it's not for us to say no at this
Okay.
point.
unless it's
He hasn't gone over his budget yet.
not a legitimate bill, it's a legitimate bill.
Per our last discussion, we made sure that the trustees, we decided after you asked, did we make sure the trustees understood that we were obligated to pay for his travel no matter what he
Yes.
spends in his budget?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, next we have the health insurance on here. And this still includes everybody under it. And you will notice, go to there's a percentage change on it is no longer by, what you go into the hospital for, say, and I'm just gonna use Kevin, because Kevin's there. Say Kevin goes in the
Kevin.
hospital and went in the hospital 6 times last year, but because Kevin is only 18 years old, 19 years old, his insurance will go down. Say Jean never went to the doctor at all last year, but because of age, and I don't know how old you are, Jean, but I'm assuming it's a little bit older than me. Older than Kevin.
They got gray hair, Jean, that's all they know.
So Kevin's could go down, but it's all based on age. It is no longer based on how many times you go. So even though Kevin went 7 times to the doctor in the hospital last year, his went down by $400. Jean's, however, Jean is a sparkle of good health, and he only went for his 1 checkup, and he's on no medications whatsoever, but because of age, his went up $600.
So it's an actuary table as opposed to usage,
Yes.
right?
So I just wanted to bring that up, because if you look and you go, why is so-and-so's going so much higher and then someone else is going so much lower? The only thing that we're waiting on is currently Assessor Ditton is on a PPO, and we've given him the alternatives of whether he goes to a PPO or an HMO. But if we stay with the program exactly the way it is, currently, without making any changes in the assessor's office, we will have a $22,000 deficit. If we have the employees do a 10% buy-in, we'll only have a $13,000 deficit. However, this could change possibly after the beginning of next month, just based on what needs to be done in the other office. So it has been suggested, if you look on the purple page, is that what y'all have? The first column is what we currently have. The second column is the same exact plan renewed. And if you'll notice, it went from, their co-insurance went from in-network from 90 to 70 to 80 to 60. However, their out-of-pocket goes from $1,500 to $5,000. In-network and family went from $4,500 to $12,700. Out-of-network, it went from $3,000 out of pocket to $10,000, and family went from $9,000 to $24,500. That's the same exact base program, what we're doing right now. And that's with them not paying anything for their, hold on one second. Yeah, because they're, oh wait, let me see the sheet, because when I looked it over, they don't have a deductible for, the right column is the HMO, okay? The left column is the PPO. So the right column underneath the two, you have the big purple column, and then on the right-hand side is HMO, and on the other right-hand side it says P501 PSN. That's the new column. So that's theirs. Everything stays the same except for their family out-of-pocket. Okay, I was reading the PPO. I'm sorry. Their out-of-pocket family goes from $3,000 to $4,500. And their doctor copay goes from $20 to $25, but they have no deductible still. Their specialist copay goes from $40 to $45. Their inpatient service, including medical, mental, and substance use, is $150 copay, where before it was 100% that had to be paid. Their emergency room copay used to be, I thought somebody had said it was 150. It's not listed here.
It says
It's
150, right?
Yeah.
no, but that's on the PPO side. But now it's 300. See, there's two different columns. Yeah, 2 different sets of columns. So, and then there's the prescriptions have all stayed the same. So If we went to the higher one, over to the right-hand side, that is the alternative plan. And that one, we've already started hearing rumblings of that because of the fact that they have to pay, where is it? In network, they have to pay up to $2,000, they have a $2,000 deductible, and already nobody wants that.
So there's no out-of-network coverage, right?
There's no out-of-network coverage at all.
Yeah, that's,
So my suggestion is to stay with the plan that they're currently on, and we have to decide whether we want them to pay 10%, or if we're going to take that as a loss. Any discussion? This all has to be done by July 1st. If we don't do it today, we will have to have another meeting before July 1st.
So they're complaining,
They don't like, see where it says in
I know,
network?
I'm going to the deductible for the individual, so right now they're paying $1,000 deductible, correct?
Okay, actually, no. If they're on the HMO, they're on the right-hand side column. There's two big columns.
I know, the far right one, okay, let me write this down. HMO is which one, far right one?
It's at the top of the page, it says P501 PS9. See that column under the second grouping of
This one,
purple?
but I don't see the 5019, but.
I'll show you.
I got GP 515 PPO.
No, move more to the next column.
P501 PSN.
That's the HMO. That would be the PPO, that's that one.
Okay.
And none of them wanna do the
Right,
PPO because it's gone, the deductibles are way
Right,
high.
okay, that's PPO, then the HMO is the far right one.
Yes.
What are we on now?
HMO. Most of them are on HMO, which is the sheet before you. Everybody except for Assessor Ditton is on
Well, the HMO looks to me is.
pretty much the
It's
same.
gonna raise up more.
It is going up, it's going up by,
You want them to buy into a PPO? but not the
HMO. HMO.
Okay, 10% buy-in, but you had that under the, help me out here.
Either one.
Oh, either one, they want a 10%
Right,
buy-in.
either one. And right now they pay nothing.
They pay nothing.
So both of them, we wanna do a 10% buy-in.
Right, and right now, nobody wants to go to PPO anyway, so it would be a buy-in to the HMO 10%. If we don't do the buy-in, the sheet before you shows what our, if there's a 22,908 currently deficit. But if they buy in,
So most of these, this is what we're at now,
We
then,
don't.
So the buy-in reduces the deficit by
Yeah,
how much?
this one.
7,000, you said about?
yes, $8,991.60.
Yeah. So,
Of course.
I mean, I don't think it's unusual for people to have to pay into their own health insurance. What is 10% basically costing?
If you look at the first page, it's, the new one is on here. So for example, Bob, we'll just use you just because you're here, is that okay? Bob's currently 1585.71. What is your 10% right now? Do you know what it is coming out of your check?
I don't.
You don't. It would be, well, it would
75 a check or something
be
like that?
158.50, but that's your month, so it's 70, half of that?
Right,
So-
75 to 100.
yes, yes, something
Okay,
like that.
so the new one is 2,073.71, which would be $207.37, so it'd be about $100 a paycheck. So that second column that says new on the page before it
Is the new premium.
is the new premium.
And that would be for everybody, not just elected, right?
Oh, this-
Everybody.
Oh, this, okay, here's your, what you guys are, this is what's costing us right here.
And it shows on the right with the employee buy-in.
15.
I'm sorry, I have to take a look at
That's okay.
I mean, in my estimation, it seems like the benefits for the elected officials and the employees of the township should kind of mirror what the community experiences in their own life.
Right.
And I believe most people have to pay something for health insurance. So if I'm stepping back and talking as a taxpayer, I I kind of feel like the people that are employed by my entity should have the same kind of makeup. I'm not talking dollar for dollar.
Right.
But the same idea, the same makeup as what reflects the taxpayers. So I think that a 10% isn't, I don't think that's an excessive amount to require them to pay for their health insurance.
Okay.
Thank you, I've been arguing that for years, because I got paid my own all the time,
I pay
so.
my own.
I pay
Yeah.
my own, and it's
And I
not
have
because
many
I,
arguments, but I think it's a great benefit.
It's
Don't
not-
get me wrong,
it's not
it's a
be-
great benefit
and
for
I'm
our
not saying
township.
it like vindictively, like, gosh darn it, I pay for mine, and,
Right,
but I think it should mirror the community. As a
Mhm.
taxpayer, that's what I would want.
Okay. All right, so we'll wait for Chris to get back. There is one small slight issue to this that we'll have to deal with, but Bob can, and here I am giving him the idea to do this, but because Bob is his own entity, he doesn't have to make his employees follow this. Neither does Assessor Ditton. Currently, Assessor Ditton is stating that he is not going to make his employees pay that 10%.
So
I thought
that,
he would have to, because he comes underneath.
Doesn't have to,
He said
but
not
what
his
he
own
has to
tax
do,
credit.
is he has to have enough money in his budget line to cover that, to offset that difference. Adam?
Although he's in the general town fund for his money, there's a statute that expressly says the township board has no authority over setting the compensation and benefits for his employees. So that's why it's a little unusual, is that even though he's under the town fund,
Right,
there's a separate statute that expressly addresses.
I can see Bob, because he's his own taxing entity.
Yeah.
But the assessor's not their own taxing entity, but yet he can do what he wants. We can give him, say, $100,000, here's your $100,000, do what you want, you want to pay your salaries and this, and there's nothing else to run the office, that's your problem, right? That's what you're saying,
Yeah.
okay.
Because for certain things, not everything he has on his budget, but for
Right.
certain things, the township has a lawful duty either to do it, like the education and his travel expenses, or to not do it, like determining what kind of benefits his employees are gonna get.
So in the assessor, because Bob's his own, so I'm not gonna deal with Bob because Bob's his own entity. But it comes down to the assessor, we have to worry about his budget, and stuff. Us as trustees have to worry about his budget.
But not
Gotta
about-
make sure he's well aware that, okay, you wanna do this, then you figure out somewhere where you're gonna take your money out of someplace else, and he doesn't have a whole lot of money right now anyway to worry
Well,
about.
he can only move, I think, up to 10%.
He's got
None of
plenty
us.
of money.
Yeah, none of us really have the money now, because they lowered the levy so bad, so. Yeah, and I
It's
agree
just
with,
whether he wants
with
to.
Lisa over here, I mean, you know, I'd love to give everybody free health insurance, I really would, because I think that's a great benefit for working in a township, and, you know, and most of them are not the high-paying jobs, but they've become high-paying jobs, in a sense. So, yeah, 10%.
You know what, I'm just looking at the budget numbers here, Bill, and the road district has, it looks like their budget is sufficient to handle this additional cost based on the spreadsheet that was presented. If I understand the spreadsheet correctly. The cost per division, that's the rest of the year total net cost. Which means,
That actually might not be completely accurate because we're gonna have an audition
Okay,
in November, baby.
right, okay.
Not
so
me.
Bob's
Not
is
me.
relatively.
Bob,
Just your
Bob's
department.
doing November. Bob made an announcement.
hold on.
Just so I understand, you're relatively close right now.
It's physically impossible, so we'll just put that.
All right, so,
I don't see the town fund on here as far as insurance either,
you don't see it on here?
on this spreadsheet here.
Oh,
was
that would
presented.
just be,
Summer.
Somerville. She's the only one on.
She's on the GA though, isn't she? Then it looks
Right.
like we certainly have room to cover that at this point as well.
But I'm going to tend to agree with Lisa and Bill. Everybody in the township, and we did a survey to the other townships. There is only us and one other township that offers free insurance. Everybody else makes them pay a portion of it. Some people cover the employee, and then if they have a family, they have to pay 50% of the insurance of the family.
So wait a second, let me understand what we were talking about earlier better then, because maybe I was misunderstanding. So currently, we cover 100% of the insurance?
Yes,
Okay, that's where there was the disconnect, I got it.
okay. So all we're trying to do is get them to have a 10% buy-in. Do you have any questions about that? No?
Not at all.
And the elected officials are paying
10%.
Because I know that was one of the, years ago, because they wanted to do it, well, you can't make the employees do it, and we couldn't change the elected officials, so it didn't look good. Now the elected officials are.
Well, we're trying to make them all in line,
Other than the
so.
trustees, I'll let you know that, other than the trustees.
Trustees are not.
Ours is still free.
That is health insurance.
Yeah, so now we can do it for the whole, our employees,
It's across the line,
our employees.
board.
And in a way, I hate to give up that benefit for our employees. I think we have very valued employees, but seeing our numbers and our budget that Chris worked so hard on and everybody else in this board worked so hard on, you know, if we could do it this year, that's fine. I mean, I don't have Chris, you're the guru of the numbers. If it looks good, that's fine. If it's not, then we're gonna have to just adjust our numbers and put 10%. And I'm sorry, it's not all that much. Yeah, it's gonna hurt their bottom line for our employees a little bit, but
I think the maximum employee, it's 100, just like it's close to Bob's, it's $100 a paycheck. And the months where there's 3, then it comes even less. But it comes out to about
but you're still talking like $100 a month.
100, yeah,
So $1,200.
$200 a month.
Oh,
$200 a month,
$200
$100 a paycheck.
So $2,400 a year, they're gonna lose some money,
2,000, yeah.
Yeah,
roughly.
yeah, they're gonna perceive it as a cut and pay.
Right, exactly.
But Lisa, as I understand what you were talking about before, I wanna make sure that I have it accurately for the minutes, that even if we set the policy of the 10% buy-in for our employees, that the assessor's office or the highway department can agree not to do that for their employees.
That is correct.
Right. So that makes it look.
Bob, can I ask what your thought on that is?
Well, I don't think it's out of line to ask for 10%.
Thank you.
So,
Okay. And then the assessor would have to have the money within his budget if he wasn't gonna make him pay it.
Well, yeah, and thanks for counsel here tonight that said that, hey, he's his own man, so, okay, you still wanna be the hero, that's fine. Well, Santa Claus is not coming to Christmas. It's a tough decision, you know, I'd like to keep it, and, you know, and we gotta do this decision by when?
July 1st,
So we have to have a special meeting.
if we don't approve it tonight.
You know what, I would rather us, because my guru over there, Chris Larson, run the figures if we can do it. If we can't, then I wouldn't mind coming for another special meeting, unless our trustees wanna say, okay, 10%, and we're only gonna be effect.
So we're gonna
We're
have,
still gonna be
I'm-
running a deficit.
yeah, we're still gonna be running a deficit.
Almost $14,000
Yeah.
with
Well-
the 10%.
Let's not look at the overall deficit, let's break it out appropriately, because it's broken out for us on the spreadsheet as well. You know, with the GA budget, there's certainly sufficient room to cover the increase there without the 10% this year. The highway department, there would be
He's
sufficient-
getting another,
there would be sufficient room without that you know, unquantifiable addition.
Right.
Put a cork in it.
You know,
Hold it back to when's our time come, you know?
contingencies happen, Bob. It's- you
July,
understand.
November to July, you can't
You
hold
can
it
make a
down.
hole in it, can't you?
You know what, it totally makes sense, but, you know, the budget under the existing conditions before you knew would have been sufficient to cover this. Regardless of what we did, the assessor's budget is, even with the 10%, is blown by, you know, $18,000 already. So,
And he's the one that doesn't wanna do it. So, of course, we don't know for sure because he's not here.
But it was brought up to us that he is not going to do it.
So Chris, you're the closest with the numbers. What would your recommendation be?
well, we've got two separate issues. The first issue is, can we continue based on our current budget to support the insurance the way we have in the past? And I believe from the town/GA side, that's a yes. I believe from the highway department, and Bob, tell me if I'm wrong, but with contingencies and the appropriate allotments, that's reasonably yes. You know, it was generally planned for. From the assessor's side, we already knew this was gonna be difficult after March. Even under the, you know, best circumstances. So if we have no control over that one way or the other, then why should we necessarily cause the other employees within the township, from our perspective, or would Bob enforce that hardship on his employees? You know, what good does that do to anybody other than to cause additional divisiveness between employees and departments within the township?
I agree with that. And as a town fund, we have one employee,
One,
and that's coming out of GA, or part of it.
yeah, she's a GA. She's the only
Because
person.
Susan is paid out of,
She doesn't take
Your-
insurance,
She doesn't take insurance.
didn't take insurance,
neither does Dave, neither do I, neither does Jeannie.
okay,
We get reimbursed, but
right, but it doesn't come into
it
this.
doesn't come into the,
formula.
yeah,
Certainly not in those dollar amounts.
no.
It's cheap,
Yeah, we're cheap.
or really cheap.
I like.
Oh, don't ever say that about yourself. Really, I mean, it would just add that extra layer of ugliness, and at this point, I don't know that I'd wanna cause harm to our employees in any department right now, when
One
there's
employee.
any employees.
I think it's something we should think about. a little
Currently,
bit here.
currently
We
it
should
happens
jump
to
at
be
a
Lupe,
decision.
but let's say that Dave needs to jump on that insurance policy, that's a second employee that qualifies. We have other elected officials that the circumstances dictate.
Could change, yeah.
That could change as well, it has in the past, we've all seen this sort of thing happen. You know, so let's, you know, why cause everybody to suffer that penalty if everybody else is budgeted appropriately and spent appropriately, where we can afford to absorb it at least this year, and then make that advance notification that, you know what, we can't continue to do this, because it's just gonna be too expensive, be prepared for this next year, so you know that it's coming.
So do you wanna vote not to do that?
I'm against the 10% at this point. Similarly, the same reason we were last year, which was, it was just all of a sudden, you can't do that to us without thinking about it. And
Well, we have already been discussing it with them to let them know that this is possible because of the increase in numbers. So everybody is aware that there has been a big increase in numbers and this might be happening.
So we've got 1, 2, 3 employees between the town and the highway that would be affected.
All of them would be affected. But if you're saying that he isn't going to make his employees, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So out of the group here, 4 of them, which is more than half, aren't going to. But we need to add one more person onto here because Anthony is coming on, right? Because currently he's not on here,
He just,
He's on through his dad.
right?
this, this
Oh, yeah.
other sheet that
So
I'm
he's
looking
going
at
on.
here.
And then he's
There's
gonna add
also
maybe-
the idea of like a step up, where we notify them, and then at one point go to 5%, you know, like 6 months out, you know, if we pay the first 6 months and say it's gonna be 5, or, and so by the end of the year, it's 10, so it's a gradual.
Make a motion to that effect.
Through the end of the calendar year, that might be, at least give them time to prepare for that. I mean,
So 5%,
Well, we carry it till the end of the year, and then it's 5%, and then a year from now, it's 10%, so it's kind
Well, the new
of.
budget,
What?
the new budget maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
and
need to-
yeah, you're right, and then there's a new
Personally, I
budget.
need to look at, I gotta crunch my numbers, because I prepared for Anthony and I prepared for the baby, but the increase is another story, so I really need to, I'm gonna have to make my own decision on that, you know.
So are you asking the board to table this for this time?
As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah,
I am, because I think I need to
Okay,
really
then
look.
we're gonna have to do a meeting next week because I'm out of town the following weekend and it has to be done by July 1st. The following week I'm out.
Can I ask one question? Who's the players here?
They're listed on that sheet.
I see that. Russ is assessor, right?
Yep.
Who is
Kula,
highway?
McCarriger, that's assessor. Somerville is GA. Valengo is, highway. Vidone and Watts are assessor.
I don't know, Tony, if Malengo, I don't know, it reflects the.
It has his added spouse on there.
I saw that, but I don't know if that number that he has now there also reflects Anthony, because Anthony will be backed out of it and then added on as his own.
Well, let me kind of figure it out.
So,
So you're probably looking at,
So he would be similar to Watts, and he is. Before it was him and his son, just the
Right.
two of them,
Right.
and now it's that,
You're talking
so.
about, but Tony's getting married now, he's gonna add the wife then?
The
Tony
spouse is
married-
already
It's
added.
already added?
If you read it says added spouse on June
Oh,
1st.
okay, okay.
so that,
So-
that includes that.
So then his would just go down to, he would go up,
Once Anthony backs off of it.
and then he would go to father and child, so it would be about probably what Tony's was before. So about 1,052,
Okay.
about, don't quote me on
I
that.
just want some time to add everything up. and see what
okay,
that-
so,
I think you're looking at an additional, what is it, $600-700 a month from November through the end of the fiscal year.
So do we want,
Ballpark based on estimating where
So
they're.
$70 round figure then. You said 67 goes.
No, this is
70.
just the increase above
Right.
and beyond what's
Right.
here, is it
The
net
increase
plus
is $70
$600 to
a month
include the new
for-
employees'
Right.
insurance?
7 months.
okay, do we want to table this and have a special meeting on Monday the 16th? It wouldn't be a very long meeting. Or do you want to, because we can't do it the following week because I'm out of town.
fine with
16th?
me.
16?
Well, I'm
Yes.
really,
That
I'm
way
really
it's
free to do
time.
what I want, correct?
No, we have to kind of go, you have to tell us which plan.
Okay.
We vote on the plan and then you decide whether you know. If we say yes to the 10%, you can either say yes to the 10% or no to the 10%. But we all agree on the plan.
Oh,
And then-
yeah, that's fine, I agree with that.
Okay.
The plan's not the issue, it's the percentage.
It's a percentage, right.
Okay.
All right, so all we're pretty much voting on then is the percentage, and that's all we have to work on. So the 16th at 6:30, most likely we'll end up meeting in the other room because of the fact that I think this room is being used on the
Let me ask
16th.
a question, if we can all agree on a plan tentatively tonight, does that mean that we can change how we deal with the payroll deductions in a separate meeting and not as a special meeting?
It has to be a special meeting before July 1st.
Well, we're accepting the plan and the renewal.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a
We're
percentage.
just talking
which is an
about how
in-house
we're
issue.
going to handle the internal.
We have to
bookkeeping.
let, because Blue Cross and Blue Shield needs to know if we're doing a percentage.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here's another thing.
That's what I needed to be
Yeah,
clear on.
here's
Got
another
it,
thing
got
Blue Cross and Blue Shield did. We used Delta Dental.
I
Did
saw
you get the
that, I
cards?
got covered,
Okay.
right.
All right, so what happened was Blue Cross and right now, especially if you have children, your insurance the insurance automatically assumes that they want you to have dental for your children. So if Blue Cross and Blue Shield sees that we don't have dental with their plan, they automatically start charging us for a dental plan, so that's what they did. So this whole percentage thing has to work with them too. Yeah, I love this.
Whether we use Blue.
We go with Delta Dental.
I know, but whether,
So we just had
why
to
would they
prove to
charge
them.
us if we don't get any insurance from them?
because they just say, they go, oh, look, they don't have any dental.
Affordable healthcare act.
So there, we got double insurance people.
Right, so they overrode our Delta Dental, so automatically, they started sending everybody cards out. So I only found this out because somebody called me and goes, we had just talked to the insurance lady that day. And I get home and get a phone call going, why do I have Blue Cross Blue Shield Dental? Don't you think you should have told us before before you switched us? And I found out that Blue Cross and Blue Shield just took it upon themselves to decide that we needed their dental. So this is why we have to let them know everything that we're doing right now.
So can we get in touch?
It's been fixed.
Good.
I know.
Can we get in touch with the insurance guy before next week? Find out what the total cost of it is, so we can understand it. He can understand his true impact.
Okay,
I mean, we're kind of guessing here, but it's,
so do you want, so what,
be helpful if you know what the actual number's gonna look like before we make a decision on that too.
okay,
So, yeah, special meeting, I guess,
special meeting on the 16th. No, it should be
6:30,
there.
did you say?
Well, is 6:30 okay with everybody? Okay. Get it over with.
You guys?
I'll find a way to make it back.
Okay.
I got here tonight, so.
It should be a quick one. And as I said, if we're not in
At
here,
7 o'clock.
What?
It's gonna be quick to be at 7 o'clock.
6:30 is,
yeah,
make it happen, I guess,
okay.
if that works for Lisa.
Yes, yeah.
Do you want?
What? Are you okay with the 16th?
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine.
That doesn't sound fine.
There isn't a good day next week, so
Oh, okay,
there isn't.
okay.
He did a good job.
All right, okay, so we'll move on to that. The next we have, executive session. We're going to, move executive session a little bit further. Does anybody, we'll go through old business and new business, and then we'll discuss executive, because that way we can let everybody else go. Old business, I will tell you that, the brochure is done and ready for people to look at. If you need a copy of the brochure, it's in there. It turned out really, really nice. So we do have new brochures for the township. I also attended a meeting on Friday, and I should probably put that on the report. And there is something that we can link so that we don't have to download our audits to we can even be more transparent. Through the state of Illinois, we can link to their site, and they will have all of our audits, and you could just link to there, so we're gonna link them across. What else did he discuss? That was pretty much it. And Jeannie had already mentioned that the audit is just about done. They asked for a few more things, and then it takes about a month or so for them to go through that, and then I'll share what once we get the reports from them, we'll transfer that out. Anybody else have any old business? Any new business? Any public participation? All right. That will end regular session. We are going to executive session.
Make a motion to enter executive session for
And
purposes
if
of
you would like.
discussion litigation.
Okay,
For litigation, I just wanna make sure everybody hears that, okay?
oh, it's for litigation. And everybody else, would you wanna go into the other room, or do you wanna stay in here and kick
Depends on our
everybody out?
audience.
What?
Depends on the audience.
Does the audience wanna stay just for adjournments? Yes, no, Bob? No, okay. Jean, do you wanna stay for our adjournment? Okay, that's it then. I'm gonna kick you guys out. Kev, you gotta go out in the hallway.
Wait,
for a little bit.
we have a
Oh.
first, we don't have a second, we don't have a vote.
We're almost there,
Okay, all right.
She's kicking people out first.
She's just figuring out the room.
yeah.
Can you put your name on here? So I know who.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Call it.
Yes, please.
Trustee DeGrove,
Aye.
trustee Delmar,
Aye.
trustee McNeil.
What are you voting on?
Going to executive session. Trustee Larson, supervisor Rush.
Aye.
Okay.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
I'm not shaking
Oh.
We're in
She's
executive
nodding
session.
off.
No,
Nice to see you, Jean.
All right, we're gonna stand here for executive
Oh,
session.
he wants to gamble.
Oh,
Yeah.